What's going on, guys? A pretty raw and kind of honest video that while I like to share on my Instagram page at least, and I'm presuming many of you who are probably watching this video have come over from my Instagram page, you see a very open, honest kind of person. I show my family life. I'm very honest in how I kind of approach the information that I give across. And I like to be as honest with you guys so that you have trust that what I'm telling you is coming from a place that wants to help you. I'm not in the back end trying to give you some discount code that's going to be marketing towards me and giving me for some sort of product that I don't use but have been approached by that product just to sell you guys. Or whatever it might be, you know that what I do is coming from an honest place. And my kind of one and only wish is that it can help you on your journey, be that a fat loss journey, be that a journey of fitness, health and well-being. But I had to do this video, and as you saw from that intro, and probably how I'm titling this video, I got fat. And many of you might see that scale of 72.7 kilos or whatever it was and go, Adam, what are you talking about? That's not fat at all. But for me, guys, and from where I am, I've certainly let myself go, my eating habits go, my exercise habits go, completely out from where I usually am for me and kind of my journey in particular. And I'd like to sit there and say, it was Easter, it was Christmas. But to be completely honest with you guys, and it's going to be the kind of theme around this video, and very open with you guys, in that I haven't really felt right since the gallbladder surgery I had back in November. Now, that gallbladder issue's been coming on for a long time. I should have had it dealt with a long time ago. It was giving me grief, but I was being a typical male and kind of just going, pushing it off, pushing it off, pushing it off. My wife had told me multiple times, go to the doctor, have it sorted. I went to the doctor years ago and he said, go and get a scan. Never had the scan done. Just before I went to France to go and live a year in there. Went back to the doctor because I'd have a couple more episodes. He said, go and have a scan. I said, well, I'm leaving in the next few days. He said, well, I really suggest you need to get this kind of sorted. I didn't. I came back from France. A whole heap of different things kind of happened. But in the end, I was rushed to emergency at about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning in November, a few days before my birthday, in pain that I can't even start to describe. And for anyone who's had a gallbladder attack and an attack that's led to you needing to have your gallbladder removed, you can kind of empathise and sympathise with me on just how excruciating that pain is. And it was not only a knock to my kind of confidence, but kind of a knock to myself in that here I am day in, day out telling people to live your best life, stop procrastinating, take action, get going, do the things that you need to do to take care of your health. Now, here I was just not living that in the back end of it. Now, I'm a relatively healthy person. I exercise a few times a week. I eat relatively good. I've got a ridiculous sweet tooth, and I have over the years found a way to kind of make that work into my lifestyle. But of recent times it's become much more, and I sit here all the time and sit there and say, well, fasting should never be used as a way to kind of minimize your calories to kind of help with weight loss or stave weight gain off, whereas I had been in recent times starting to do that, in that I was not having majority of my diet being nutrient dense type foods. I would have maybe a salad with dinner or something like that, but then I would make sure that I wanted ice cream that night, so I might have skipped lunch that day. Or if I'd had a particularly big day of kind of chocolates and ice creams and biscuits and chips and things like that, nothing that I showed you guys. You might have seen a video of me posting, here's me breaking my fast, a beautiful salad. I then didn't show any of that other shit that I was having on in the inside because I felt ashamed that I was doing this on the back end and not sharing that with you guys. But I need to be open here. I need to be honest here. And it got really bad after I had my gallbladder out, in that I was told by the doctors that I wasn't allowed to do anything, not a single bit of exercise for probably 3 to 4 weeks. I couldn't lift anything more than 4 to 5 kilos. And that became, for me, something that I just kind of took as, well, I've been exercising, on a regular basis for the last 15 plus years. I saw this as a potential way to kind of have, a few weeks off and just relax. And I never really comprehended just how debilitating, both mentally and physically, having that kind of time off would kind of be on me as a person in general. And I sit here and always kind of preach messages of get going, take action, stop waiting for motivation to kind of take you over to kind of get you going. Just start taking action today. And I'm saying this coming from a place of someone who has always been around fitness, health, and kind of exercise. And it's easy for me to sit there and say that. Now, while there are certainly days where I don't want to go and exercise or I don't want to run, and I don't, but more often than not, because it's something that's just so ingrained in my life, I've been able to just go, well, I know I don't want to do it, but I know I need to do it. But as soon as I kind of had 4 weeks off and I was really thrown for 6, as I said, just how much the surgery had taken out of me, how much my kind of mental, clarity, that's not the word I want to use, but kind of my mental health and my physical health had kind of been shook by this surgery and this whole event, and kind of it really just knocking the wind out of my sails. I didn't really comprehend just how much that this kind of 3 to 4 weeks would really knock me for 6. And as I said, I really haven't been quite right, both mentally or physically, since that surgery. And this is the first time I've really shared this with anyone. I've spoken to this a little bit about my wife, but she's probably going to learn a bit more about me in this particular video. She doesn't watch any of my stuff anyway, but she probably won't see it. But if she does happen to come across it, I will let her know that I've done this. But it's something that, as I said, I don't share a lot of. I try and share as much of my personal life, but I do still I'm still a very kind of insecure and kind of, insular type person. Kind of, I talk on my phone every day as if it's something quite easy, and it comes something quite easy to me. And many of you, again, who see my Instagram stories, see me just talk on a phone, think that this is just something very natural to me. I'm a very open person, but realistically, if you got me in front of, I have a viewing audience of my stories of about 2,000 people every single day. If you got me in front of even 20 people, I would be very shy, very withdrawn, and be very uncomfortable talking in front of those kind of people. And so coming now and being very open, very vulnerable, it's kind of scaring me quite a bit, and I feel quite vulnerable to that. But what I want to use this video for is a place for me to have, a point in time where I can now look back and go, that was a point where I was certainly struggling. I was struggling mentally. As I said, I just haven't felt quite right mentally. I really struggled to exercise. I very much have taken two options. You can either go and do the exercise or you don't. And more often than not, since November until now, and this video is going up sometime late April, early May, I just have found it very difficult to kind of keep myself moving forward and keep myself exercising, purely because my mental state is just so withdrawn. I just can't be bothered. I'm tired, I'm lethargic, and I know exactly what, I tell and preach all the time, in that I know taking action will help me move forward, will get the momentum moving forward, will help that snowball effect moving forward again. And yet I now can start to really comprehend just how many of you guys who listen to a lot of my stuff, and I sit there and tell you, get moving, get going, how difficult it is just on a day-to-day basis. I went without exercise for 4 weeks straight, and there was some surgery in there and things like that, but I can now kind of start to empathize with my clients and many of you guys who message me on a very regular basis just saying, Adam, I've lost all motivation. I just can't get going. What can I do? And I always just give a very simple answer of, well, just get started, get going. I can now start to empathize a little bit with you in understanding just how difficult that can be. And so, as I said, this is a starting point both mentally but also physically. As you saw, I'm heavier than I have been in a very long time. I've been under 70 kilos and of a high muscle mass and low body percent fat for quite some time. And I've been able to kind of, trick myself into believing that I'm still okay, because that weight really hasn't shifted, but 100% my body composition has changed. So I have definitely lost lean muscle mass over the last, 6 months. And that's due to two parts, I was training for my half marathon PB attempt last year. Again, some of you may have seen that video over on Instagram stories. And so I did a lot more running, and my weight training certainly dropped off. And that's certainly been a reason to why I've seen a drop in lean muscle mass and an increase in, well, not necessarily too much of an increase in body percent fat, but certainly started to see a drop off of my lean muscle mass. And so being able to convince myself that, all this shitty eating that I'm doing isn't really having too much of an effect on my weight, so I can kind of get away with it. So I'll just keep getting away with it. But it's just been kind of chipping away, a little bit more fat's coming on, a little bit of lean muscle mass is coming off, and so that weight was sitting around about the same. Convinced myself. Christmas came around, I thought, it's Christmas, so I'll get started in the new year and I'll get going from there. The new year came, again, a little bit more lean muscle mass was coming off and a little bit more fat was coming on. I started feeling a little bit more lethargic, a little bit more difficult to exercise. A session here would then start to drop off. I've had a very kind of regimented routine over the years of when I kind of usually run and when I can usually work out, but a session to just drop off here and I just brush it off. I wouldn't think of it. I was very busy today, that's why I couldn't get that done, or I had to go and pick up Amelia a bit earlier than usual, or she didn't have a sleep and so I couldn't get my exercise in after she woke up, or whatever the excuses were. They started to become a little bit more frequent, and Easter was absolutely the kind of tipping point for me. I remember, I think it was Easter Tuesday, so Easter Monday had come, we'd spent the weekend down at my parents', I'd eaten ungodly amounts of chocolate, and without a lie guys, and not exaggerating, I probably had close to 2 to 3 kilos worth of chocolate in, I'd say, the space of 4 to 5 days, and I jumped on the scales just out of curiosity because I just felt a bit more wobbly again, and the scale was 71.5, and I'm like, holy shit, it just kind of just hit me with a thud in the chest, and I'm like, okay, and then took an honest look in the mirror and just like, okay, no, Adam, you're fat, okay, there's certainly rolls there, and as I said, you guys might kind of sit there and go, what's this joker talking about? I wish I could be fat and be at his body weight. But again, for me guys, this is my personal journey, and where you are on your personal journey, you have to be kind of honest with yourself of where you are on your journey. And for me, I'm definitely 5 kilos heavier than I should be, and so this video here was, as I said, a chance for me to kind of get in front of the camera and just be honest with you guys, but also a chance for me to kind of use this as a starting point and a stepping stone to start moving forward, and a real honest conversation with myself to kind of get my act into gear. I need to kind of will myself to take action, to increase my motivation, to then inspire more action, to then take on more exercise and start really taking care of my health and well-being, both mental and physical. And that's going to come as a big change in my dietary as well. I'm very much of the opinion that you should definitely have balance, but everyone kind of looks at balance being every single day. But I mean, if you look at the scenario of if you are 50 kilos overweight, for the last 20 years maybe, you've been living very much this way out of balance. And so in going very strict and restricting the sugar you have, restricting the calories, getting rid of chocolate, getting rid of ice cream, all of those trigger kind of things, people sit there and, no, you must have balance. Yeah, but you're now trying to just bring it back into balance. And so in having a very strict approach to bring back that 20 years worth of out of balance approach is then starting to bring that with, back into balance. And I hope that kind of makes sense. So rather, people sit there on 50 kilos overweight, they go, oh, Adam, shouldn't I be having balance? And it's like, well, no, Bob, you haven't been living balance for the last 20 years. So let's get rid of all that shit out of your diet, and let's really kind of make a difference in kind of pushing you forward and building that momentum. And look, a year from now, when you've dropped 20 or 30 kilos and you're really on a good momentum, sure, let's start looking at introducing those. And for me, as I said, the last 6 months, I've just been, my sweet tooth has gone through the roof. And I can use every excuse under the sun as I like, but at the end of the day, I'm the one that still puts it into my mouth. I'm the one responsible for putting these calories into my body. I'm the one responsible for not having more nutrient-dense food. I'm the one responsible for not getting in lots of lean protein, and I'm the one responsible for not doing my running, my exercise, my gym, and being on top of my exercise and kind of fitness regime. And so it's about 10 weeks until the Gold Coast Half Marathon, and I'm still a little undecided whether I'm going to go for the sub 100 minute run there again. But what I am going to do, and what I am committing to on this video, and I'm going to document this, and I don't know if it's going to be a weekly video or maybe a monthly video or whatever it might be, but I'm certainly going to document this, and over on my Instagram page, I'm going to weigh myself daily and just kind of post the daily weigh-in. But I want you guys to come along on this journey with me. I'm committing to losing 5 kilos. I need to lose that 5 kilos for 2 reasons. One, I need to get back into the shape that I know I can be and that I feel good at, and that I mentally and physically feel in a place where I feel comfortable. I like the way I look, I like the way I feel, and exercise and eating right becomes much more of the norm again and not such a struggle day in and day out. But number 2, if I'm going to run a sub 100 minute half marathon, I have to be lighter. There's no two ways about it. I usually race around 68 kilos, and I've come a couple of minutes short of that 100 minute kind of PB or kind of goal of mine that I've always had. So I'm figuring I'm going to have to be a bit lighter than that. So I'm thinking I need to be around that 66 kilos. So another 2 kilos lighter. So let's just see how we go. My goal is definitely to get to 67 because at the moment, as I said, I'm 72. So that would be my 5 kilos. Let's see how I'm running. Let's see how I'm feeling at that point. I'm going to presume that the 5 kilos is going to probably take me around about that 10 weeks or so to kind of get off. So it's going to be bringing me into a period of where I'm about to go and race. And so I should have a very good understanding about 6 or 7 weeks of, am I on pace with regards to where my running is at in the half marathon? And am I on pace with kind of my weight loss and where I'm going? And I'm going to be 100% honest in kind of everything that I eat and everything that I document moving forward, so you guys can know that, I'm going to have slip-ups. I know that I'm going to have slip-ups along this next 10 weeks. I'm going to do my absolute best to not, but let's all admit we're human. We're going to have slip-ups, and I want to make sure that I let you guys know that I had those. It's okay. We move on. It doesn't destroy the scales, which so many of you guys who DM me all the time say, Adam, I had such this bad day yesterday. I've ruined everything. Everything's gone out the door. My scale weight's now up again. I've just done everything that I've done. I'm going to show you that while the scale might do this as you're kind of going along, the overall trend over the next week is going to do that. And I'm going to see that end result in 10 weeks' time. And pledge that, if you're watching this video, guys, no matter where you're watching it from, if you are kind of in a place where you've been meaning to get on board, you've been meeting to start, or you've tried a few times and you don't know where you're at the moment, should I start again? What am I doing? How am I going to do this? Come along this journey with me. Come along. Take action tomorrow, today, whenever you're watching this video, and make this the time where you're now really going to put in the effort. It's not going to be, the next 10 weeks is not just a 10-week weight loss program. This is a 10-week to really get me back into momentum then for the next 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, and beyond, to be back in the place where I know mentally and physically I should be at, and where I can then be, I guess, for lack of a better word, the role model that some of you, many of you over, again, on my Instagram page have come to look to me as a guiding light on how to be the no breakfast life, or how to live the no breakfast life, how to include fasting in a healthy way and make sure that it enhances your life and you're not using it as a way to kind of just mask eating shit food and kind of as an excuse to be able to kind of just eat what you like where else. So yeah, that's what this video is about. I know I've rambled, I've gone left, right, up, down, and all over the place. I hope this kind of video has made sense to you guys. I hope you've understood where I'm coming from and what I'm trying to get across on this video. And as I said, I just wanted to be just very open and vulnerable to you guys and just show that I'm struggling at the moment, both mentally and physically. I'm just, as I said, I'm out of it. I love hearing your stories of positivity and how you guys are moving in. I know I get, again, of many of my stories that I post over on Instagram, many of you say that I'm the inspiration for you that helps you get up and get you going and things like that. But I'm here to say that those kind of positive messages that you guys send through to me of the weight that you're losing, how you're feeling mentally, how you're feeling physically, how the no breakfast life has changed your life, you guys are the inspiration to me. And so I love you for passing on those thoughts, because you don't have to. Like, you can keep that to yourself, and many people do, but I love the fact that you all feel comfortable enough and trusting enough in me that you can share that journey with me, and I love that. So keep sharing those journeys with them. Let's do this as a team. Let's kind of do this together. Let's come together. Let's move forward. Let's be really as a community of really supportive people kind of helping each other achieve their goals, feel better, live your best life, and all those cliche sayings that I say and you see all over social media these days. So I thank you for tuning in. This is just the beginning of the journey. As I said, the next 10 weeks are really my dial-in time. So come and dial in with me. Know that it's not just a 10-week period. This is for the rest of your life. But for the next 10 weeks, really kind of put in a real concerted effort and kind of make sure that you are putting your health and well-being as your number one priority. It always should be, but I understand life gets in the way. We've got kids, we've got work, we've got other things that kind of come into our lives, and sometimes our health kind of goes down a run or two. And I don't see that as a problem as long as your health does come back up as a number one priority, periodically throughout the year and throughout your life. And so it's when you start putting it as a kind of number 3, number 4, and number 10 kind of priority, and it sits there for years after years after years, that's when it can become a real problem. But if it's kind of jumping down to kind of priority number 3 for a 2-month period when you've got this huge report to write, or you've just had your firstborn child just comes into the world, and you're just chaos with that at the moment, of course these kind of events are going to happen, and it's absolutely allowed to kind of drop down in priority, but make sure as soon as you can it comes back up as a number one priority. So I have certainly let it slip. It's now coming back up as my number one priority, and so my every single thought, every single day is, what food can I get in that's going to nourish me and enhance my day, my ability to achieve my goals and have me feeling at my best, and what exercise, as well as kind of other meditative type activities, foam rolling, meditation, cold showers, these kinds of things that are going to really push me and move me forwards, both mentally and physically. So again, guys, thank you very much for listening in. Sorry for rambling on as I always do. If you've loved this video, hit that like button for me. Give me the big thumbs up. Let's share this video out. Let's really kind of come together as a community. If you're not already, hit subscribe for much more videos to come on this channel. I love you all. I'll see you soon. Ciao.